We recording? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm poking my head in, so to speak, to talk to you guys about how to do well in writing Project 1 and how to cite well and avoid plagiarism. This is not a video you want to skip. It's only optional, I think, in the sense that you don't necessarily have to watch it if you don't want to, but I strongly advise that you do. Here we go. I want you all to clearly understand, first off, your task for writing Project 1. You want to first make sure that you've selected a core reading that you like from Module 2. Then you want to write a summary of and response to that reading. That is the only thing you're doing for writing Project 1. No outside sources required. No sources besides that core reading, anyway. A summary typically will be your introduction in a summary response paper, and it should list only the main points of the reading, no little details, just the main points. And the response of the paper, that part, should have you choosing several things that you liked and appreciated or did not like or appreciate about the reading. So a response is like your reaction to the reading. There are several things to keep in mind with writing Project 1. One, you want to strike a really careful balance between summary and response. At least 50% of your paper should be response. You don't want to let summary overtake the paper. Why? Because your response is where the good stuff is. Summary just lets the reader know what the reading is about. A response is where you really dig in and let readers know whether that reading is worth their time and why. Second thing about writing Project 1, in your response, you should focus on just one feature of the author's writing at a time. So just one feature per paragraph, and really, really dig in and discuss that one thing. If you're writing about the author's sense of humor, for example, or the use of humor in the author's writing, and how it affects the reading as a whole, only focus on examples of that sense of humor in that one paragraph. And you want to give and cite examples from the reading to show your readers what you're talking about. What are some examples of this sense of humor? And then what does that sense of humor do for the reading overall? How does it make it successful or not? Third and final thing about writing Project 1, don't be very, very careful not to spiral out and talk about anything else other than the reading itself. This is a common misstep in summary response or summary analysis papers. You want to focus on the reading itself. Writing Project 1 asks you to write not about your personal experience, but about the reading itself. So try your best to stay focused on the reading and avoid talking about anything else but your reaction to specific aspects of the reading or things about the reading. To properly respond to it, you might just keep answering the question, what does the author do in this reading that makes it successful or not? What were some particularly powerful or weak points that I can either promote, like be in favor of, or attack, criticize? Those are things you want to be thinking about when working on your response. Lastly, I just want to be crystal clear about what citation and plagiarism are. A lot of people think that plagiarism is like malicious, evil copying and pasting from the internet. And while yes, that is plagiarism, there is a better, broader definition for it. Plagiarism, by definition, is actually just the lack of citation. Like you haven't cited something. And citation just means showing where your sources come from. So plagiarism, by definition, is not showing where your sources come from like you should. There are many different styles of citation, like MLA, APA, just different ways to cite, depending on the discipline you're writing in, like nursing, English. In this class, we'll use MLA style, meaning that you have to cite your sources, that is, show where they came from, in the way that the MLA organization says to do it. So, to avoid plagiarism, that is, to make sure you're citing and citing properly, you want to do all three things on the following checklist every single time you use a source. Okay. First thing you have to always make sure you're doing. If you're quoting, taking something word for word, you have to use quotation marks around the exact words that you're quoting. If you're paraphrasing, that's putting things in your own words, you want to do so very carefully. You have to stay true to what the author originally said. And even when you're paraphrasing, if you use one word from the author, you still have to put quotation marks around that one word. The second thing, if you're choosing a source, something from a source, and you're quoting or paraphrasing it, the second thing is that you want to use what's called an in-text citation whenever you use someone else's words or ideas. In-text citation means either naming the author or work in the sentence where you use it, or putting the author's name at the end of the sentence in parentheses. You must do this in every single sentence in which you use an author's source, or an author's or a source's words or ideas. Not at the end of a paragraph, at the end of a sentence where you use it. So readers can distinguish like which ideas are yours, which are the sources, which words are yours, and which ones are the sources. If you have a page number, that's going to go in parentheses at the end of the sentence after the author's name. Okay. Third thing you need to be doing when you're citing, whatever source you quote or paraphrase in the paper and give an in-text citation for also has to show up in your works cited page, which is a separate page at the end of your paper, so it gets its own space, that shows in a particular way, according to MLA standards, several important bits of information about the source. So you have to be doing those three things to make sure you're citing properly and avoiding plagiarism. One, if you're taking words directly, put quotation marks around them. If you're just using someone's idea, putting it in your own words. If you're doing either of those things, you have to use an in-text citation. That's the second thing. Either name the author in a sentence, Smith says that we should blah, 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 or put Smith in parentheses, page number if you have it, at the end of the sentence where you use it. Third thing, that Smith source, or whatever source in question, has to show up in a works cited at the end of your paper. That's how it goes. Do those three things and you'll be safe. Couple of rules of thumb, golden rules, whatever you like. Cite as you write. So don't treat citation like it's just one more, thing like you have to take care of. It's part of writing. So as you write, cite your sources. And the second thing would be like when in doubt, cite. When you're not sure whether you should cite something, you probably should. Oversighting is almost not a thing. So just be careful to cite. That's the general rule. Your textbook teaches you how to cite, but you can also go to owl, as in .english.purdue, PURDUE.edu. I'll also link it after the transcript on my post. Please know that it's your responsibility to learn how to cite so as to avoid plagiarism. So it's your responsibility to watch this and heed its advice, and to look through your textbook as well. But owl.english.purdue.edu will also guide you in knowing how to cite your papers. Of course, I'm here to answer any questions you all might have, so definitely reach out if you need me. Best of luck to you guys with writing Project 1. I will be commenting on your rough drafts after your peers do. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.